All right. So the last time United won a game in Europe was 380 days ago. 380 days ago. After 380 days, or in between the 380 days, we've played Copenhagen, we've played Galatasaray, we've played Bayern, we've played FC20, we've played FC Porto, we've played Galatasaray. And we've now won a game after playing POAK, POAK of Greece at home. And Charlie, it was a libet watch. I just got tired watching this team, and something fresh really has to happen. I'm here with Kwame in Chubu, and joining us once again is Nathan Obodaikwao, who hasn't been with us for a very long time. He looks so tired, like every United fan who watched this game. It was a hard watch. Nathan, great to have you back.
Yes. I've been around, handling all kinds of stuff. But it's nice to see you guys again. I hope you guys are good.
Yeah,
great.
Can we complain?
You're hanging in there.
That's all we can do. Hanging in there.
Oh, Kwame, Charlie, great to have you back.
I don't even know what to say. Where do we even start from? Let
me tell people to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel, like the videos.
That's a good
Share your comments with us on what you thought about the game. A lot of you have been sharing your comments. We really appreciate it. It tells us how much you enjoy the content that we are giving you. So it's great to be back on the podcast. So let me make a quick turnaround. When I come back, we'll get into the game and we'll talk about Ruben Amorim as well, and the City game that they played at Sports, and that farewell that they gave him. An amazing farewell that the team from Sporting gave him. He shared some very interesting things. Maybe we'll talk about a few of them, but we'll look at the game. Ruud van Nistelrooy, AMAD Diallo, what a game he had. He was the only positive person on the pitch on the day and got 2 goals and was taken out, but he had a great game. Let's make a quick turnaround. When we come back, we'll delve into that. All right, thank you very much. This is United and Everything Football. Like I've said, remember to subscribe. Remember to hit the notification bell. Leave your comments and the likes. All right, let me get to the guys straight up. Let me start with you, Nathan. Nathan, what is the problem with Man United? What is the problem?
That is a very good question, but a very complicated question, because sometimes it's the coaching. At least we've seen that sometimes, or a good chunk of the time, the coaching has not really worked. And the other times when you look at the team and you wonder, how is it that the players don't seem to understand what exactly is going on? When you play for Manchester United, arguably the world's biggest football club, there should be some pride, there should be some hunger, there should be the willingness to win games and do everything to succeed, because that's why you joined the club, so the club can succeed. The club hasn't done well in a very long time. So sometimes I ask myself, don't players want their names to be written in history as the crop that led United back to the big time? I ask myself that question sometimes, because some of the performances you watch are very unbelievable. For example, for large chunks of tonight's game against POAK, it looked like the players didn't want to play the game, or there was no communication. It just didn't look like a team that wanted to win its first European game in over a year. And it baffled me. It did. It really baffled me. The body language was off. There was no communication. It looks like they did not know what they were doing. I found it really, really, really strange. And you look at this same situation and you transpose it to another team, that team will be killing themselves 10 times over to get their first European win in over 380 days. But you don't seem to get that for Manchester United players. And you wonder why. I know that, people will see this and say, we always said the players were the problem. The coach was not the problem. Well, the coaches have to carry part of the blame, a large chunk.
Yeah.
But you also can't look at all of this and not criticize players and ask yourself what exactly was happening tonight. I'm sure we'll read through all the transcriptions, all the thoughts from Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
I'm sure the players might look at this performance and hope that it's better. But tonight was a chore. And just to expand to just to circle back to the question, what is wrong with Man United? It's very complicated. You can't. It's not one thing. If it's just that one thing, then you'd be happy. It's layered, really. It's just managers that are not working, players who don't know what they want to do, an atmosphere that's all confused. It's tough being a Man United fan.
In fact, discussing it sometimes is quite tiring. You even get tired talking about it.
Yes. It can get really, really complex. Really draining, really difficult talking about Manchester United. Sometimes you are so energized to talk about it. Sometimes you just don't even want to talk about Manchester United because it's like the same things you.
We sound like broken records.
Yeah, we do.
Kwame, are you going to go into read my story again?
You see, that's the thing. You ended by saying something that is so critical. You sound like broken records. See, right after the Chelsea game, in our private group, I predicted exactly what happened tonight, didn't I?
Kwame actually predicted it. He said,
I predicted exactly what will happen.
We will labor and score 2-0. And against Leicester,
we will labor and score 2-0.
We will labor again. But Sueda will win that one. He said we'll win, but now he's reversing it. He's like, it looks like the Leicester one.
It's because the Stardust is wearing off. The Stardust of Ruud van Nistelrooy taking over as interim manager is clearly wearing off. When he took charge, I'm going to say the same thing again. I expected him to have an imprint of his own ideas, his own knowledge on the team, because whatever that we've been doing has not been working for a very long time. But he's gone with a tangent of, I don't have enough time, it's just 4 games, and I just have to continue with what we're doing before, which wasn't working.
The same attacking patterns.
I sit behind the TV screen and I'm saying to myself, we're going to play the same way. We're going to make the same substitutions. We're going to react the same way. In-game management is going to be the same. And it hasn't been working. So what am I supposed to get excited about? After the Chelsea draw, I said to myself, you know what? The Stardust is sort of worn off and we're just going to labor tonight. But because of the quality of the opposition, Greek teams don't do well anyway. They're not going to upset you. We'll just find a way to win the game, but it won't be pretty. Now, my major concern is Leicester City is going to turn up with not their team C, their team A. They're not doing well, but the problem is not even about their team. It's about us. We are out of sorts. I just think as soon as possible, let's just get over the line. Let's just get over the international break, get a new man in, get a breath of fresh air in, and we start all over again. Nathan made a point about when he tried to answer your very, very difficult question, that why can't these players kill themselves? Sometimes the weight of expectation, the burden of all the history of Manchester United, not just on players, but on managers over the past 11 years, seems to take its toll. People come with all sorts of reputations, come with all sorts of promise, all sorts of quality, all sorts of price tags, and it just doesn't seem to work out. There is no sole reason as to why we find ourselves in this state. What I would say with the current state of the players, and it's the way we are playing as players sometimes get managers sacked when they are as fed up as fans are fed up. It's there. We've heard it, numerous stories from particularly Chelsea Football Club. It happens at Real Madrid. All the top clubs, when they do get fed up sometimes, they get rid of a manager. We are used to, growing up, we have been used to one man being at the helm of affairs for a very long time, right? But the truth of the matter is, those things don't happen very often at a lot of football clubs. It's not a norm. It's not normal.
Yeah.
It was for us. It may have been for Arsenal. It may have been for 1 or 2 other clubs. But when you look across the whole of Europe, and all the top clubs, they keep churning and keep changing. It's all about trying to maintain certain standards at certain times.
Yeah.
Manchester United fans have been in this limbo as to what the best approach to getting back to the top is. Do we stick to one manager? Do we stick to one group of players? Do we do this over a period of time? But the truth of the matter is nothing seems to work. All we have to do is keep on flipping and flipping. And fortunately, one time someone will take over and we will not have to flip again. Liverpool kept changing over all the time that we ever supported Manchester United. Liverpool had so many managers trying to kick Ferguson off, but it didn't happen until he even had to leave for Klopp to come and, salvage whatever Liverpool used to be. So let's just hope that the new manager brings, I just hope. I'm not going to base it on any facts because I'm sure we're going to get into the Amorim bits and then we'll get into the comparisons with Erik ten Hag when he was coming into Manchester United and all that. I'm not going to get super excited wank about the whole situation. It's just, I'm just praying that this works. There's just something should just change. Work. The players should just switch on when he comes in, buy into whatever that he wants to do, and then we just carry on for play. It's just the whole. Nothing more.
Let me take a few of the comments from our viewers and our friends who've sent their videos to us. Remember, you can join us by sending a 1-minute video of your thoughts and everything to us on the email that I have showed below, uefpodcast@gmail.com. You can send a 1-minute video to us. So we will play it for other people to hear. So let's listen to some of the video.
So it was a nervy win, but it's still a win, and I'm happy. I was just hoping that we wouldn't slip back to what we're doing previously and then concede a goal and possibly lose the game. So I think I'm happy about the game. We didn't play anything extraordinary. It was just the basis. I think it's good. It's good. On Amorim, honestly, I haven't followed him that much. I know little about him up until I think he was being considered for the Liverpool job. So I don't know much about him. But what I'm hoping for, because the letter I've read and some of the videos I've seen, was that he's a very adaptable coach who knows how to vary his tactics. So I'm hoping that he can come in and reform the way we play and we win games. And then we'll take it from there. Yeah.
All right. So very interesting thoughts from people talking about the game and Ruben Amorim. You can also share yours with us ahead of the next game or the next game, right after the next game, because we'll be trying to preview that game as well in this episode. So we wouldn't have a separate video previewing the episode, the game against Leicester City. All right. So guys, let's get into the game proper. Nathan, you watched the game, and what really made it difficult for us?
I think it was more of the same, like Kwame was saying, same old patterns, same old style, same old shape, very open in the middle, and then we get counted on. Look, had POAK been better,
it could have been 2-1 or 1-0 even before we had scored.
Yes, it would have been very, 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 very different. So I think that was just it. The fact that in terms of the shape, nothing really changed. It's not like we were tighter or closer together or more compact. We were still quite open. The other thing that struck me, and I don't know, I'm trying to think about when Erik ten Hag was there, whether it was a feature. A lack of, the first half especially, there was this lack of synchronization between wingers and fullbacks.
Yeah. I
noticed that fullbacks make runs, wingers don't find them. Wingers make runs, fullbacks are underlapping or not making the overlap at all. And a certain assumption that a player will be there, so let me just hit a pass. And the ball goes, ball goes to somebody else. There was a particular sequence. It was Garnacho and Dalo. It happened a lot of times between them. AMAD and Mazraoui a couple of times. Yes. But one sequence stood out for me. It was in the first half. Bruno gets into the penalty area. He cuts the ball back. AMAD is standing there, and he dummies the pass. Because I don't know if in his mind he's thinking...
He was thinking someone would be there to connect.
But okay, have you rehearsed those patterns well enough to know that somebody will be there? If there's nobody there, just take it and shoot at goal and let's figure out
not to cut you. There is this observation I made. Anytime we get to the byline to sort of send in a cutback, all our players are crowded in the 16-yard box. 16-yard box. So when they're doing a cutback, how are they expecting somebody to magically drop from the 16-yard box into the 18-yard box to connect? If it is not with coaching or something, I don't get it, or some instruction. or sometimes it's common sense because Kwame, 16-yard box, so you are cutting back. Now, while you are cutting back, all the players are armed in the 16-yard box. So when you cut back, it just falls back to a POAK player. Then he sends it away. So
transition, exactly.
AMAD thought by some magic, I thought it was smart, but he thought that by some magic, there will be a player in there to be able to connect because the dummy took a lot of the POAK players away and the ball just fell in the place of a POAK player. Fortunately, it was just on the stroke of halftime. Nathan, please continue.
And I wonder why is it happening? Yeah. Is it that players don't communicate? Then every now and again I tweet this thing and people laugh. I tweet things, and I say that Man United players almost look like they are quarreling with each other. It's almost like they train 7 days a week, and then on match day, it's like they don't know each other. They act like they are strangers. They act like they were just picked from around Manchester and say, "Hey, go and play a game." Because I find if it is, I don't know, but you have to point it to a bit of coaching. And I mention this because remember there was a certain spell in Manchester City's time when Pep initially came, where they were scoring lots of goals from cutbacks. And they were very deliberate. They would manufacture the move and ensure that players were always running into the box. Raheem Sterling made a killing from scoring a lot of those cutbacks. Yeah. So Ruben Amorim has one more game. I don't know what he will change before.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, he won't change anything. He won't change anything. Same old.
But
I could watch the game without actually watching the game. I know exactly what's going to happen.
But I don't know if Ruben Amorim has watched tonight's game. I can't tell. Maybe he
watched.
He did not.
He watched.
But I'm sure he must be looking at the team and he must be telling himself that there is a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a lot of work to be done. I insist that there is something in this. Look, you can coach a tune out of this team. Maybe 1 or 2 players may have to be moved on and some players brought in. But when I look at just the general profile of the team, something good can be extracted from this team. Yeah. Like Kwame said, it's a matter of hope now. It's a matter of hope. You just hope that, Ruben Amorim can do something, can get these players to deliver, right? He can get the players to put up a performance. And I just hope that the players will understand. Because, guys, I've said it, but I'll say it again. It beats my imagination. When I watch other clubs, you can tell that players are willing to run and die and do everything. Look, Kwame mentioned Liverpool. Look, even when Liverpool were a very rubbish side, in between whatever, the noughties and up until they found Klopp, you could always count on Liverpool to find that day when they would play a performance for you.
Not under Roy Hodgson, though. Not under Roy Hodgson. I'll not allow that to slide. Not under Roy Hodgson. When he had Veronin and co play.
And Veronin. Or Konchesky.
And Veronin. If you take Hodgson out. Yeah, I mean, true. But if you take Hodgson's era out, you could almost always find that one Liverpool performance where it was just, let's just go and play 200%. Yeah. I don't seem to get that from Manchester United players a lot of the times. Even if you see it, it's just in portions of the game. It's never sustained throughout where the opposition comes to Old Trafford and they can say that, we were absolutely battered. These days, when teams come to Old Trafford, they know that there is always an opportunity where they can get on the ball, dominate, figure out a plan, and give Man United headache. So I'm sure maybe the next thing we'll talk about is the new manager. And
we'll talk about Amorim. Kwame, I'm sure you're tired of the game, right?
No. I want to touch on it.
And tonight's game was just one more example of a performance that was not it at all.
All right, Kwame.
Just to add to a couple of points to the game, I just want to touch on 2 players, AMAD and Garnacho. I'll start with Garnacho. He's a young kid. I think a lot has been put on his shoulders this season to take the next step. He's been entrusted to make the next jump.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, things are not falling for him right now. And it's only fair to the kid himself that with all the pressure, see, these boys are social media boys now. They see everything that's on social media. They're not like, we have to accept the fact that times have changed. You don't expect them to be as tough as players in years past, because these guys on social media, they see everything, they read everything, they react to everything. And I think the negativity has gotten to him. It's about time we take him out of the firing line a bit, right? And then play somebody else, play Rashford instead, right? Take him out, let him figure himself out, and then come back in. And on AMAD, you wonder why Erik ten Hag was benching him. You even wonder why Ruud van Nistelrooy himself was benching him in those first couple of games. Because if you talk about somebody holding down the right
wing,
right from preseason, he has been on it. And some way, somehow, he was taken out. And we've been struggling to find a balance of playing Rashford, Garnacho, and Højlund, or Zexi. Sometimes you play Rashford on the right, he doesn't want to play on the right. Play Garnacho on the right, he doesn't want to play on the right. When you actually do have somebody who is accustomed to playing on the right, it doesn't even make sense to me. Yet he's been taken out for God knows what. And today he proved his quality. Right from the get-go, he was the only positive. He was
on it from the blush of the
destroyed our Barbara man, own Barbara man, whom we don't have a left back. I didn't want to do this, we're going to do this. We don't have a left back. He called our bluff. He says we've not treated him well, and blah, blah, blah. He's been tearing it up in Greece, apparently. He's been having a good time. But tonight, he failed an almighty audition to show us what he's been all about this time. He was ripped to pieces by AMAD Diallo, ripped, absolutely destroyed from start to finish. Epitomized by how he got shrugged off the ball for the second goal. Absolutely shrugged.
Even the first goal, he had to get away from him to head the ball into the net.
AMAD has been strong this season, but I didn't know he was this strong. Maybe Barbara man is just finished. But he shrugged him off the ball and stuck the ball at the back of the net. If we are not going to change the system, even if we are going to change the system, I think AMAD should have more of a look in going forward. There's a player there. There's a player in there. I know he has contract issues, blah, blah, blah. And they all factor into all this. People don't pay attention to all those kind of things. He has just like a year left on his contract, probably plus a +1 or something. Maybe all those things need to be sorted out. But beside that, I do not see why he hasn't had game time. And on the players, going forward, Nathan, these players will respond. But I always say this. After 6 months, after 1 year, what happens? You can go down all the managers we've had. Forget about Moyes. It was the same with LVG after 1 year. And see, it doesn't matter the constitution of the players, because when people generalize and say, oh, these players, I'm going like, see, every manager has had a different set of players. There may be 1 or 2 players that cut across the whole thing. For instance, Luke Shaw has been there right from the very beginning, right? Marcus Rashford was in the latter part of LVG's. He's been there all throughout. But when you look at the overall constitution of the squad, we've changed the teams, but the attitude seems to be the same. It's a culture thing. It's now become our culture. Like we've adopted it that at a certain point in time, this becomes what Manchester United players actually are. They give you a year. The manager even brings his own players, and those players also buy into the culture. And then next thing you know, they throw you under the bus and they bring the new manager. He also struggles to this, brings his own players, and then they all fuck him up. And then we are stuck in a loop. You're just praying at this point that somebody comes in and a God sense, basically, like God sense. He comes in right from the get-go, things work for him. But this time around, I'm just hoping that the difference is we've always complained that the structure around managers at Manchester United has not been good, right?
So it should be a differential now.
That should be the differential, where you have people who know what entails when it comes to how to get a football team functioning well, taking right decisions at the right time. When you have to let go of players, you let go of players. When you have to hold on to players, you hold on to players. When you have to buy certain players into the team, don't make excuses for yourself, right? Find a way to buy certain players at the right time for the football club. We need a left back. We all know we need a left back, right?
Yeah.
Don't do what others have done in the past by letting January pass and not sign a left back. In past January windows, we've needed a striker. 2 seasons, I always make reference to 2 seasons ago. Do you know we had a very good chance of actually competing for the title 2 years ago when we were like 3 or 4 points off Arsenal and
City, yeah.
And we were in incredible form after the World Cup. We were winning matches for fun. If we had just bought a world-class striker in January instead of Weghorst, who knows what would have happened? But guess what? We gave ourselves excuses, financial fair play, and we can't do this, and we ended up.
Yeah, you know,
we don't do things at the right time. The right things at the right time.
Yeah, Kwame, you're making a very good point about getting a striker, and it baffles me how, for example, Manchester United never ever made a strong push for somebody like Oli Watkins. Now, Watkins may not be a world beater, but at the time, I think he was so hot. He was the difference between United and a good title chance. He could have given 20, 25 goals.
That's true.
So it beats my imagination how Man United never ever thought of, you know what, let's throw money at Aston Villa. Because whatever they say, every club will crack at a point. And only one.
I'm sure a 60 million would have done it. The 60 million we bought oil on.
He hadn't even signed a contract extension by then.
Yes. No matter the state of Manchester United, if Manchester United say they want a player, all players will think about it twice and say, you know what, maybe I should make this move. How often does it come in my career? So I totally agree. United have not been decisive, and I think it's those decisions that have compounded over the years to put us where we are.
Exactly.
You miss an opportunity to sign a player, you look on, the player goes away. Look, big teams make big decisions. I always say this. Big teams. That's why they are called big teams, because they take the biggest of risks and then they make the biggest of moves. Man United looked at their situation and said, we want Harry Kane, we buy Harry Kane. That's what big teams do. I don't think Real Madrid will ever sit down and bizarre and dilly-dally and say, oh, we want a player, we are not sure. If they want a player, they want a player.
They go for it.
Give it a go. Give it a right good go. Give it a right good go and get it.
For how long were they not on our necks for Cristiano Ronaldo? We turned them down until
but they still came for
the
him.
right time when the player said, I'm going. And he went.
Just to make a reference to this, Ferguson always did that. See, there was no time Ferguson went into a window needing 5, 6 players. Fans would fantasize. We need 4, 5, 6 signings. But he goes out there and signs just a couple. But in very key positions, especially in forward areas, somebody who will buy you the goals. When he lost the title to City, Aguero, right?
Yeah.
He just knew he needed the best striker in the league.
Yeah.
He needed the best striker in the league. And this striker played for Arsenal. Played for Arsene Wenger, his sworn rival. Like eternal rival.
He just went in there. Just pick the player.
He went in there, hook or crook, and took the best striker. And Mancini just said the moment that's right at the start of the season, he just said it's over.
Yeah.
Mancini, as the City, said it's over because they were in a
race to also sign
him.
They also
wanted him.
Yeah.
And when he signed him, that United side wasn't stellar. Let's be honest. 2013, it wasn't a stellar. It was more like it was Kagawa and then Van Persie. That was it. That's just about it. And he made the absolute difference. You see, do the right things at the absolute right time.
Yeah.
The reason what led to us falling all this way down is when Moyes came in, we had booked Fabregas down, Gareth Bale down to be signed. You know that, right?
Yeah.
If Ferguson had stayed, 100% those players signed for Manchester United. He leaves, and these players are unsure about the new project, the new manager, and they go like, even Toni Kroos was interested in signing for Manchester United. You missed that boat, and now you are entering into Fellaini and Mattes, who are absolute no fits, panic buys, and everything has fallen down ever since.
Yeah.
It's just about being clinical. Perfect reference is Real Madrid. They're just clinical. See, they've chased Mbappe. Hey, whether it is working or it is not working. This is somebody they targeted 2 or 3 years ago, and they have made sure that by hook or crook
they signed him.
They get it.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
You just give up and go like,
do you know what they said? If you read the Athletic, they said that they gauged. They felt
they didn't even make a bid. They didn't even try.
Were not willing to listen, and they just didn't want to.
By the end of the window, Bayern Munich pulled every stop to get him.
They put
even
everything together,
and they got
every resource together to get him.
And here we have the big baby, and we don't know what to do with him. Rasmus Højlund.
But Nathan, our time is almost. We have 7 minutes. Let's quickly talk about Amorim. Sporting. Yep. What they did against City. I mean, you remember 2 seasons ago, City when they beat them 5-0. Before the game, they asked him, and he said that he's a different manager from the City that will be meeting him. And true to it, 4-1 in that game against Manchester City. And what did you make of it as a United fan watching that coach?
I was very impressed with the turnaround, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
You know, the changes, the energy. What struck me, and I've made this point earlier, it's just the energy, the occasion, and the players understanding that this is the manager's last Champions League game. Yeah. Let us give him something. Let us give him a great parting gift. You know, and I guess remind ourselves of how good this manager is, right? And I just felt it watching the performance. Yes, of course, he was guiding them and all of that. I like the post-match stuff where he said, listen, we did a few tactical changes. We were lucky. The occasion, blah, blah, blah. Look, bottom line is United have acted quickly to get a manager who they believe can get something out of the squad. I like Amorim's profile, his way of thinking, his approach to games and all of that. The biggest concern I have, and Kwame, you've mentioned it, is how long will the players be on his side? Because managers can try all the interesting plans in the world. If the players don't want, if they don't want. You are a player and you play for Manchester United, to be ready and willing to work very, very hard to succeed. Because the players at Man City, it's not like it's been an easy ride. It's been a very tough ride. Them going is the willingness of the manager and the players to be on one side. The willingness of the players to allow the manager to lead them.
Yeah.
Right? And the manager also reminding the players that he's got quality and he knows what to do at every turn. And I think that that's what largely led to Erik ten Hag's dismissal. Because players are not dumb. These guys are professionals. They can actually see what works and what doesn't. And what they would appreciate is a manager who quickly sees a problem, fixes it, and then puts the team back on the right track. So I look at the appointment and I'm happy with the thinking of the appointment because now the game has changed. You 26 years of experience. No, you find a lot of the managers who are young. They may not have a lot of trophies to their name, but tactically they are very great thinkers. They are innovative and they want to try new things. Man United players will have to be ready and willing to subject themselves to the manager's his leadership and management. And Ruben Amorim himself will have to show these players that he's skilled enough to guide them through whatever bad situations they be. Because when players are having a bad game or they know that they are getting outsmarted on the pitch, it's the manager they look at. Can this manager find the solution? Can this manager find the solution? And just like students, the teachers who know how to teach and guide and support are the ones who get the biggest buy-ins from students. So the United players will have to be ready to show that he's smart, he's take them to a new level. So it will be an interesting journey. I think he signed for 2 years, I think.
2.5.
An optional third. Let's wait and see where this journey takes us. But like I said, I'm happy with the idea of the signing. I just hope that the idea and the reality will align, everything falls into place, and then we'll start to make better strides than we've made in the last few years.
Ami, we have just a minute to go. Amorim.
It's all about.
He said he was humble. The way his post-match, he was very humble in the way he
I'm not reading much into the win. They played the occasion and then they did exactly. If he went to bed and dreamt of how that day was going to go, he couldn't have dreamt it any better.
Yeah.
Everything just played out for him perfectly.
Yeah.
But he's entering into a different realm. A totally different realm. United is a different monster, different expectations. You can't even play that way in the first half against City. If you're Manchester United coach, we're not going to accept it. Basically, we're not. You get it? He has to be on it right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it's about culture, setting the right culture, a complete culture change. And the only way he can achieve this is if he's properly backed, right? He's coming in as the coach. It's that title is very, very unique in our case.
Yeah.
If he is to succeed, the whole system around him is supposed to support him well enough, right? To be able to instill his own methods, instill a whole new culture at this football club.
Yeah.
That player culture doesn't take precedence. A lot of things he's shielded, he's protected, he's back. I don't think Erik ten Hag had the backing of Ineos per se. I think he sort of won his new contract with the new game, with how fans related to him and everything. But he wasn't really their man. Amorim is their man. The man they believe can play the game model that they want. The man that they think that this squad, the constitution of the squad, he can use. All that he needs is an overwhelming support from the system around him, and I think we have a chance.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much, Kwame and Nathan, for joining us on today's edition of United and Everything Football. This is episode 90, 10 away to episode 100. Wow,
90 already.
Anyway, guys, remember to subscribe, send in your comments, and also remember to like. My name is Kwame. I was here with Kwame and Nathan. It's been great having you. We'll see you on the next one. After the game against Leicester, we'll be here to analyze the game. And if there is any new development, we'll be here to discuss it. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye-bye.